My first interaction with what might be called performance management actually came very early on in my career. I was working as an assistant, and my manager at the time in human resources said, I have zero control over any kind of yearly increase you might get unless I give you all fives on this little sheet of paper that says you're doing phenomenal. Then that's the only way you'll get any kind of increase. So she gave me all fives and then said, by the way, you're not all fives. Let's talk about what needs to be better. So one, I didn't know that kind of evaluation existed. I didn't understand what she was measuring me against, and it was a little bit off-putting, honestly. A few years after that, I was part of a team that got to roll out performance management throughout the organization, and it was an eye-opener. All of a sudden, we were talking about ongoing conversations about performance. We were talking about, here's what we're trying to accomplish throughout the year, and I had a chance to talk in my one-on-ones with my manager, a different manager. This is what I'm working on. This is how it's going. Here's what I need help on. And that was a game changer for me. All of a sudden, I felt like my work had purpose. I felt like I had somebody who was going to support my efforts. And I also had these moments to, if you will, brag about here's what's going well. So at the end of the year, when there was the official conversation about how I was doing, I could effectively rate myself because I was tracking what was happening, and I knew that my manager had the same insights that I did. So keeping those conversations open, I think, is the most critical part of the whole process. What I hear in coaching conversations more recently actually is I don't have regular conversations with my manager, or they don't seem to do this kind of performance management check-in. I'm going to recommend that you figure out a way to have that, even if it is quote unquote informal. And I've done this as well with managers, where I just sit down and I walk through, hey, by the way, I wanted to remind you I'm working on this project. Here's some of the things I've done so far. Here's some of the actions I've taken. Here's some of the tasks I've completed, whatever that might be. Here's the impact I've seen so far. Here's some of the wins that I've had. Here's some of the obstacles I've run into. And then I also just want to check in for their insights. Maybe they've got feedback, and maybe I have to ask for help. That is sort of a subtle way or subconscious way to continue to feed your immediate supervisor status updates, if you will. And so at the end of the year, you're not trying to sell them on what you did throughout the year, but you have a chance to keep them informed. And then they're actually rating you based on the performance they know you've done.